Hey everybody, NeoSolid22 back again. Got a fairly large pickup again. Had some luck at a 1 yard sale in particular. Plus I bought some stuff off some St. Louis retro gamers and other things, traded some stuff, so might as well get into it. Don't want this video to drag on forever. So first off, I guess what I'll start with is these, as you can tell, Genesis boxes. Jake Friedel in the St. Louis Retro Gamers group, he's got a YouTube channel and I wish I knew the name of it. I'll try to remember to put it in the description if I can find it. But he had some Genesis games, he got a lot, he didn't want them. And I don't have a ton of Genesis titles, I have some, and this is going to add to my collection along with another one I picked up I'll show you later. But these are actually just Genesis sports titles. I didn't pay very much for them, but I didn't have them, and I actually think Genesis is one of the best sports consoles of all time. EA made a crap ton of games for it, obviously, and they were done for Super Nintendo for the most part too, but two of these games are probably some of the best sports games ever made in my opinion, and just the series overall on the Genesis is probably some of the best sports games ever. Just go into it. This is not one of the best sports games ever. NBA Live 96. I actually like the game. It's not bad. I remember playing it with my buddies. For a basketball sim, it's really not that bad, considering the graphics and everything. I really liked this one back in the day. This case is in really bad shape, as you can tell. It's peeling. It looks like a dog may have got a hold of it. But Bulls versus Blazers in the NBA playoffs. Me and my buddy used to play this game a ton. He was a big Bulls fan, so he liked this game. Pretty good game, Basketball games were decent. EA Sports made good ones. And these are the two that I was talking about being two of the best games ever. I actually have 94 version of this. I'm going to probably amass the entire collection, including 98, which is a more rare one. Also, these two were NBA Live 96 is complete. Bulls vs. Blazers is complete. Manual. NHL 96. Which is a great game, hockey game. These hockey games couldn't be beat. It's not complete. Got the goofy EA card, of course, the bigger cards, which apparently they did just to be different. NHL 95. This is probably my favorite hockey game of all time. This and 94 pretty close, but this one's awesome. Very good. If you haven't played NHL 95, I recommend you pick it up. But like I said, I didn't pay too much for these. This one's not complete, but it does have the warranty card, so probably should send that in and get my warranty fulfilled on it. But NHL 95, probably my favorite hockey game of all time. One of my favorite games on Genesis, just a sports game though. Obviously, not a lot of people collect sports games, but if you're a fan of hockey, you should have this game. This is a great game. Alright, next, I went to the flea market just Sunday. I didn't really see much, I didn't have a lot of money on me, so I was kind of bargain shopping. So I went to this one guy at the flea market. He used to own a video game store locally, and now he sells some of his old stock that he didn't sell originally at the flea market. So I went up there, and I found Tailspin, and this really, really crappy boxed version of Vector Man 2. I paid $9 for the pair, which is about right, maybe a little bit less, worth a little bit more, I mean. But this box is just in really awful shape. I really need to get something to put it in just to keep it from falling apart. But Vector Man 2 is a pretty great game for the Genesis. So if you haven't checked that out, check that out. And Tailspin, of course, is one of the Disney games. It's probably one of the lesser known series, I would wager. But Tailspin was actually a pretty great show. And you should definitely check out this game. It's actually not bad. It's not DuckTales good or Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers good. But Tailspin's a workable game. So check that out if you get a chance. And I think that's the only NES game I picked up this round. Alright, next I went to Game Depot in Union, and they have a buy two get one free on PS2 games. I collect PS2. I think you guys are probably aware of that from my pickups. So I got 3 games for $10, which I'll always do that. That's not a bad deal. First I got Orphan, Scion of Sorcery. This is either based on an anime, or they made an anime in line with this, or a manga perhaps. But I've seen this game played, I've never played it, but I really love the cover art. It's just a fantastic cover art for that one, so I picked that up. That was $5. One I've been looking for a while now. I'm trying to put together this collection. Neo Contra. Obviously, it's a difficult collection to put together because there are a couple of very pricey games. You saw I got Contra and Super C last time from James in the St. Louis Retro Gamers group. But I got this at Game Depot. I've been looking at this for a while. I've seen it for $10, but I got it for $5 technically. But ends up these are about $3.33 a piece after the one free. And then just to get one free, they didn't have a great selection. I picked up Second Sight, which is, in my opinion, the second best, I guess, psychokinesis game that was released at the same time. Psi-Ops being the best. Psi-Ops is probably one of my favorite Xbox games. But Second Sight wasn't near as good as Psi-Ops, but still not horrible. So if you get a chance, check out Second Sight, but check out Psi-Ops first, because I refer to Psi-Ops as actually the best Star Wars game ever made that's not Star Wars, because they get the Force right in that game, while Star Wars games have rarely ever done it. Alright, so next, I dropped by, on a day of yard selling, I just happened to drop by a little thrift store over near my house called Buried Treasure Resale. They usually don't have anything, and they really didn't have anything this time, but I just happened to wander across this, and I was like, well, I got to pick that up. That'll go right along with my Pokemon Blue. It's the manual for Pokemon Blue. It was just laying randomly on a table in there. I looked around to see if I could maybe find the game. The game was nowhere in there. I looked everywhere. But it's in decent shape. It's got some bending on the corners, but I only had to pay 75 cents for it. So, you know, that'll kind of go along with Pokemon Blue. I didn't even know which one it was for because they all look basically the same. But if you open it up, it says Pokemon Blue. So that's kind of cool to have that to go along with my Pokemon Blue. Next, Martin Hassett from St. Louis Retro Gamers, he has a deal where he can get Game Boy games, like buy one, get one free at Slackers, which is the local gaming store if you're not from the area. And he knows I'm looking for Final Fantasy games. I was looking for Final Fantasy Legend 2, and he said he had seen it somewhere. So he went back to Slackers, and he saw it, so he was like, he texted me, asked me to buy it. I was like, yeah, how much? You know, it was like $8. So I was like, cool, I usually see it for 12 to 15, so 8's a great deal. So I got it. It's in very good shape. And I do believe this is actually the Squaresoft version of it. If you don't know, the Final Fantasy Legends series was originally released for Game Boy by Squaresoft, before Enix was involved. And then later on, it was re-released by Sunsoft. So there's a re-release of them. I think the other ones I have, well, you can see, Final Fantasy Legend 3 is a Sunsoft one, as you can see. But the Final Fantasy Legend, the original one, actually I think that's a Squaresoft one too. But the Squaresoft ones, I'd rather have the Squaresoft ones, even though their name is nowhere on the cart. If you look real close, there's nowhere on the cart. But Sunsoft displays their name pretty heavily on the cart. So, you know, very nice to have that. That completes my Final Fantasy Legend collection on Game Boy. I'm only like 18 or 19 games away from having a complete Final Fantasy collection, which those games are kind of like the weird ones like Chocobo's Dungeon and Theater Rhythm, which is a 3DS game. Then apparently they're coming out with another one, so you might want to bump that tally up to 20 that I need. But trying to get it all together, get all the games. I'd really like those boxed, but Game Boy games are tough to come by boxed at a good price. Next, Matthew Gurley, sent me a message, said he found some manuals, and did I want them? And I had traded him a game that's pretty good, so he was like, well, I'll pick up this manual for you, then you can pay like $5 for the other one. And then I found another one. Well, he said he found a surprise for me, and so I went over to his work to pick him up, and man, his surprise was really awesome. Matt, if you're watching, I really love this thing. What this is, it's the manual for Final Fantasy VI, and it's the Japanese manual, and it's actually got a dust cover. And then you open it up, and then you got another cover, and it's for the Super Famicom version, which is crazy, and maybe it's a re-release or something, because it's in such good shape. I don't see a date anywhere in here. I can't read Japanese, though, but it is a very cool manual. I'll just open up to a page for you. See, all in Japanese characters. But that's very cool. I appreciate Matt Gurley. You can see he got it for 99 cents. That's a steal for this, because I'm starting to collect these manuals, trying to put together a set of these manuals too. Of course, the Japanese ones, I can't read them, but very cool nonetheless. So thanks, Matt. And then he also picked up a couple more manuals for me that he saw there. Final Final Fantasy IV Advance, which I know you probably, if you watch my videos, you see I picked that up in box the other day at VStock. So cool to have the manual to go right along with my box copy. And then Final Fantasy. This is the PSP re-release manual for it, which I don't know how you beat this game without this manual, because that game is freaking ridiculous. It's so hard. So that's the re-release manual. It's nice to have that. I actually have the re-release on PSP, and I have beat it, but I had to use the internet, I'll be honest. That game gives you no direction whatsoever. So very cool to have these manuals. Then he said there was probably a couple more Final Fantasy manuals there. He didn't know if I'd want them or not. So I went by and I did see a few, but I saw this one, Final Fantasy 1 and 2 Dawn of Souls, which is the GBA release of Final Fantasy 1 and 2, kind of a remake of them. Look on the back, you see the Final Fantasy 1 and 2 logos. This is pretty cool. I don't have Final Fantasy 1 and 2 Dawn of Souls. I'm still trying to find it on the cheap, because I'm cheap when it comes to buying games, but I haven't found it yet. But very cool to have those. Thanks a lot to Matt Gurley for those awesome manuals, and especially the Japanese one. Alright, so I think that brings me to the yard sale pickup I've got. Yeah, it does. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this. I've already traded off some stuff, so I'll show you what I traded. I traded a few games to Charlie Ratcliffe from the St. Louis Retro Gamers group. Some N64 games. He actually found this yard sale for me and was like, dude, you got to go here. So I was like, okay. So I found some stuff. So I was like, here, you can have this, and I'll trade you this for something else. But we'll go through that first. First off, I get there, and there's a bunch of boxes. I see a bunch of PS2 games laying on the table. So I'm like, hey, how much are these? And people were like 50 cents a piece. I was like, well, those are sold for sure. I don't even care what they are. And then I saw a box with a PS1 in it and a PS2. So I kind of just got these people. I asked them if they had any more video games. They had some more. So I kind of got them just to kind of throw it all together and just give me a price on it. Well, the price they gave me, I got all this for $25 total. So I'm going to go through what I got. I'll start with this. A very dirty N64. It actually had the expansion pack in it. I put a jumper pack in it because I needed the expansion pack on that green N64 I got a couple weeks ago. This doesn't work, however. The reset button is stuck down. It seems like there might be something spilled on it. I might take it apart and work on it. But I only paid like $3 for this thing, so whether it works or not, I'm not real sad. So $3, I'm not going to worry about it. But the best part is, it came with 5 games that they sold me for $1 total for the 5 games. Here's 2 of them. GoldenEye 007, not great shape, label's rough, and I've had so many copies of this game. This won't be for sale, obviously. And then a Mario Kart 64, which obviously is a fairly valuable game. I've got a copy of it, so that's obviously for trade or, sale, whatever. But yeah, so that's good. And then there were 3 other games which I did give to Charlie. I gave him Bomberman 64 as kind of a finder's fee for helping me find this one. And then I traded him Banjo-Kazooie, and he traded me this, which is really cool. I'm a big plug-and-play fan. My kids like them, so I get them. But this one's very cool. It's a Pac-Man plug-and-play. In good shape. Charlie thought his kids might have killed the battery, but it's still working. This is very cool. So I traded in Banjo-Kazooie for this, and then I gave him a copy of NFL Quarterback Club 98 because nobody wants NFL Quarterback Club 98, but if you don't have it in your collection, why not take it for free? So I got that from Charlie for those games, basically. And then I got, next, a PS1, and it actually came with 3 games. Gran Turismo 2 is in there, although that's only 1 disc, and I thought Gran Turismo 2 is actually 2 discs, so it's missing a disc. That's the arcade mode disc. So I got this PS1. I've already got one of these. This one works, actually, I think. And the best part is I got the LCD screen to go on top. I took it off because it's not working very well right now. The screen's not working, so I'm going to have to take it apart, see if I can figure something out. It may be a bad connection, but nonetheless, it's kind of cool to have that in my collection, to have that to put in there. Even if the LCD screen doesn't work, it's going to be a nice little shelf piece for me. And then it came with the white controller, which is very cool. And then, in the box with it, it came with another PS1 DualShock 1. A boomerang-shaped PS1 controller. Doesn't have the sticks, so it's older, obviously. Doesn't have the analog sticks. So I got those with that, and in the box there's this mess of cords. I think I've got 3 PlayStation 2 Slim charge cables and 2 PS1 charge cables. and a couple of video cables in here. I'm not sure why they had so many of those, but I actually needed a charge cable for my PS2 Slim I picked up from Charlie Ratcliffe a couple weeks ago at my meetup, so that was cool. But obviously, you saw the PS2 Slim cables. Well, I got another PS2 Slim. And remember, all of this I'm showing you right now I got for 25 bucks. I think I paid $7 for this. And I think it was $5 for the PS1 with those games. I haven't even showed you all the games yet. But yeah, PS1 Slim with a Bumblebee cover on it. I haven't tested this yet. It looks like it's in pretty good shape. These people were like so happy to get rid of this stuff, and I was clearly happy to take it off their hands. So, you know, this is probably going to go up for trade. I don't really try to make a lot of money off this stuff. I just kind of try to give it to my buddies, and for cheap if they need it. So then there's a controller. And then I'm not even sure. This is an aftermarket Mad Catz controller. I'm not even sure if that's PS1 or PS2. My inclination is that's probably PS1. And then this one is another aftermarket. Maybe PS2. I don't know. But that's in good shape. Then they had some games. Well, I'll show you these first. I got two more plug-and-plays. This is the EA Sports plug-and-play. Looks like a Genesis controller, which is fitting. And that was at that same yard sale. It was in the box with the PS1. And a WWE or WWF, what do you want to call it, plug and play. I don't even know what this one is. I have no clue what would even be on this one. But I like the plug and plays. And this one's probably my least favorite I've ever got. But, you know, I paid like nothing for this basically. It was just in the box with all those wires and everything. They just gave that to me. Alright, then in the box was Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Brothers 3. Which is obviously a great game. So happy to have that. I kind of dug that out of the box first. I was like, how much you want for this? And they were like, well, it can go for 50 cents. And they were like, well, we just bundled it all for 25 bucks. So I ended up getting that part of the bundle. Then here's the other PS1 games. A couple 007 Racing and 007 Tomorrow Never Dies. Just in these cases, I'll probably get rid of those for something. Alright, then I got some loose PS2 games, which I typically don't buy, but they were just throwing them in. Soul Calibur 2, which I don't have, so I hate that it doesn't have the case. Jak and Daxter, which I do have. Tetris Worlds, I think I may have that one. Vice City, I know I have that one. And Madden 2005 and MVP Baseball 2004. So I got all those as part of this $25 bundle. Then, I think this is an empty box. A nice empty box with no cover on it. Then I got NCAA Football 2005 with no cover, so it's technically a loose disc. And then I got a big old stack of PS2 games as part of this lot. Boom. And let's just go through these real quick. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, not complete. Lord of the Rings The Third Age, which I was happy to get because I actually wanted to play this game. Incomplete, though. No problem for me. Resident Evil Code Veronica X, actually complete. This is a black label. I have a red label, so that's going to replace my red label. X-Men Legends, not complete, but I have a red label and I think it's complete, so I may just swap them out. So to get rid of that red label. One I've been looking for, actually. Primal. Complete. And pretty cool game, actually. So, happy to get that. SmackDown. I don't play wrestling games, but I guess I'll just throw it in the collection. Not complete. Grand Theft Auto 3. Complete, except I don't think... Yeah, no map, but it's got the manual. Red version. I've got the black version, I believe, so... And I think mine's missing the manual, so I'll probably throw the manual in my version and then get rid of the red version. Madden 2001 with the great Eddie George on the cover, not complete. Rayman Arena, sort of not complete. It's got like a one sheet, it's not the manual. But I've never played Rayman Arena. Lord of the Rings The Two Towers, obviously a licensed game, probably not that great, but it is complete. Got another copy of ATV Off-Road Fury, so that'll probably be going out the door because I don't actually need another copy of ATV Off-Road Fury. Destroy All Humans, I think I actually do have this one. I may have it on Xbox though. So obviously the red label, not complete. SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, not complete. And again, I don't really play wrestling games. Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix, not complete. SmackDown vs. Raw 2011, complete. Not bad. This one, not complete. Medal of Honor Vanguard. So I got those in that $25 lot, which I didn't think was really that bad. And I believe this is the last thing I got. It's another plug and play. It's the Namco one. It's got like Galaga and Pac-Man and Dig Dug on it. It's a cool one. It's got a little problem. It's a little messed up, but I'm using it. It's pretty cool. I like these things. Just for the stylize of them, but overall, good stuff. Alright, so this was a really long video. I apologize for going so long, but I'll go into a little more right now. I think I'm going to be starting a subscriber contest. I'm only at like 33 subscribers right now. If I get to 50, I'll probably go ahead and do a 50 subscriber contest. If I get to 100, obviously that'd be great. I'll do. But I'll probably start off light with just a couple of more common games. Give those away to some kind of contest I'll run when I get 50 subscribers. So if you know anybody that likes these videos, get them subscribed. Maybe you'll win a prize when I announce what the contest is. So anyway, that's all I got this week. I appreciate you watching. Thanks.